Pledge of Allegiance. Mary Helen, you want to lead us?
I do. Repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, roll call. Mary Helen, we got 2 excuses. Gail Swart couldn't make it tonight. She's got a prior engagement, and Elizabeth Carmen is still on leave.
Still on leave. Okay. Pioneer Town is still vacant and Landers is still vacant. Mark Lundquist, Joshua Tree.
Here?
Lib Koenig, Flamingo Heights. Here. Pat Flanagan, Desert Heights. Here. Teresa Seitz, Wonder Valley. Here. Mary Helen Tuttle, Copper Mountain Mesa. Here. Do we have a quorum?
Yes.
Oh, well, we don't decide.
Yes, we do.
That's all right.
Yeah. Okay, adoption of agenda. For all you people who picked up the agenda, the draft agenda will be on the back.
I move we adopt the agenda as presented.
Okay, will I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? No? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, unanimous. Okay, approval of minutes for April 13th, 2015. I'm sorry, the minutes were on the back.
I move we accept the minutes as presented.
Okay, do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, approved minutes. Okay, call for public comment. At this time, anyone may comment on items not on the agenda that are of interest to the public and within the jurisdiction of the MAC. The MAC is prohibited by law from taking action on matters not on the agenda. Comment may be offered on items on the agenda when those items come up for discussion or action. A limit of 3 comments per item and 3 minutes per comment may be imposed. In all cases, if you wish to speak, please submit a registration card to the secretary and proceed to the podium when recognized by the chair. Speakers should address the MAC as a whole. Comments to individual delegates and or staff are not appropriate for this venue. Okay, let's see who we got here. David Fick. No, actually, we were going to ask you about this tonight. Thank you.
Okay, well, David Fick, Joshua Tree.
You're not working.
I'm not working.
It's not personal.
Pat, could you hand David your microphone? Okay, that one doesn't work.
There we go.
Testing, yes. Okay, David Fick, Joshua Tree. Very recently, last Friday, May 8th, there was a notice of preparation for the Dollar General issue with Joshua Tree. And this is a notice of preparation for the EIR. Some people would think they jumped the gun, including me right now, because this is still under, the litigation is still under appeal. And the timeline on the appeal is something near the end of this year when they hear oral arguments, which means that the decision on the appeal is probably going to come around middle of next spring. This notice of preparation for the EIR means that the Dollar General, Dynamic Development, and the county are proceeding ahead. That would give you, there's either 2 ways of doing it. One, they have enough money to throw it around just in case they want to speed up the timeline on this whole thing, or they don't think they got much of a chance in appeals, in Court of Appeals. So anyway, this is a new subject actually. It's like nothing happened beforehand. You're supposed to consider the Dollar General. This is on the notice of preparation. They say comments for 30 days, goes from May 8th to June 9th. Your next MAC meeting is June 8th. So I'm hoping that you can maybe chime in on the issue. I don't know how to present it to you yet because, one, you can't endorse an entity that's suing the county. So you have to address the subject itself by itself and all the little details to it. But you can't say we're on the side of JTDBA because that's insubordinate. So anyway, There's plenty of issues on this. There's traffic. Oh, by the way the issues go is when they have a mitigated negative declaration, if one of those declarations is overturned in court, all of them are overturned in court. So therefore, the traffic issue is going to be revisited, the Joshua Tree plan is going to be revisited, and the, what we call the urban decay would be visited. Not that we have much urban to decay, but that's the way it fits. So anyway, and I think it's important for this group to come out with some sort of say, because it might have had an effect on the Bowman Trail solar project. And on our end of things, everything we do helps. So hopefully you guys can consider this. I dropped off 3 of those. I can send you the PDF by email if you want it. And that's it.
Thank you, David. Okay, next speaker, Rebecca Unger. Are you going to speak on the cake again, or are you done?
No, I'm done.
Okay. Okay, Donna Landry. Did I pronounce that right? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Donna, and I live in Wonder Valley. This July will be my 21st year out there, and I just would like to bring up the idea or the question, who is, I have a feeling that someone is paying the county for these OHV trails, and I'm wondering if the Yamaha or Honda or these companies that make these vehicles, I wonder if and how much money they're plugging into the county to get this thing passed. And I think that there's something you can officially inquire as to if this is a fact or not, but I think it really needs to be considered, because this thing is really not well put out. And that's really all I have right now. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Donna. This issue's on the agenda for tonight as a resolution. So
Yeah,
we'll,
I didn't know for sure because I marked that it was.
yeah, we'll be talking later.
This is my first time attending this kind of a meeting, so I didn't know what was.
Glad to have you. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that during the resolution. You'll pick up a lot of information.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thanks, Donna.
Come back.
Okay, next speaker, Teresa. You don't have to fill out a card.
Okay, I didn't, hi, y'all. On Saturday, May 23rd, this is working?
Yeah.
Okay. Saturday, May 23rd at the Wonder Valley Community.
Yeah. Mine?
This is off?
Is your light on it? There's a light on it.
Yeah, it's got a green light.
Is this a community update?
Yeah. Should I wait?
Yeah,
Okay.
we have a segment
That's fine,
for
then let
that.
me know.
Sure, no problem. Okay, that concludes the speakers. Did I miss anybody out there? Okay, public safety reports. First up, do we have somebody from County Fire here tonight? You do? Oh, yes, you do. Mike. How you doing?
Yes, sir. How are you? This is ours.
Thank you.
So this mic isn't working? I don't think I do.
Yeah.
I yap so loudly, it's...
Really, the thing that isn't working is the holder. Why is it just clear? There.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board, members of the audience. Mike Snow, Battalion Chief, San Bernardino County Fire. Just a quick report for you tonight. Just covering some of the summaries for the month of April. Between Joshua Tree, Wonder Valley, and really Fire Station 42, because we don't have any resident staffing at Fire Station 19 in Landers or at the station in Johnson Valley. The fire station out of the Aberdeen location will typically respond with MBA into those other areas to cover those call responses. For the month of April, we had a total number of responses, 242 incidents. Of that, we had 6 fire responses, 105 medical aid responses. Call of service can be for anything, cat in the tree to, rescuing somebody off of their roof or assisting them from their car into a residence. Between those locations, we had 22 calls for service. Good intent calls, which would be, say, smoke scares or investigation type related incidents. We had a total of 39 responses on that, 4 false alarm responses, and then 1 miscellaneous response that was undetermined. We didn't have too much fire loss, thank goodness, in the month of April, but some of you may have noticed in the news lately we've had a lot of structure fires involving residential facilities, both occupied and vacant. Some of those have been weather related. Others have been an act of omission by the resident themselves. The big thing that I'd like to basically share with you guys tonight is, with regard to the fires, our vegetation fire season is already here. And for those of you who already know that California is in a state of drought, so we really haven't had an off season for our vegetation fires this year. So I did leave a couple of handouts over there at the table for you. One is a pamphlet regarding our wildfire safety for the residents here and the communities. And then the second is a flyer which is also pertinent to your home, but it's created by the Firewise community. And it's also an organization that helps disseminate this information nationwide throughout all of the communities. And really, I can't express to you enough the importance of keeping and maintaining appropriate clearances around your homes, particularly if you're in the flat areas. We like to see at least a minimum of 30 feet clearance around the home of any type of vegetation. And then if you are on an upslope area, we like to see at least 100 feet of clearance around the home. And there's a lot of good information in here about green belt as well as other landscaping ideas that you can use that are fire safe. And we hope everybody stays fire safe this summer. I think we're going to be in, we've had just enough rain to get the light fuels on the ground again, and that's what typically carries the fire into the much heavier stuff. So we're hoping that we can keep it calm out here in the Morongo Basin. As far as the state's concerned, I think we're going to be in for another vicious season. That's about all I have for you, unless there's any questions from members of the board or the audience. David?
There might have been an incident on Section 6 last night involving fireworks.
I did not have the duty last night, but our station in Joshua Tree would have responded to that. I can certainly look into that information and get some additional information for the next meeting. But typically on the fireworks investigations, these people all know the sound of our fire engines when they're coming into the area, and they usually hightail it pretty quick.
It was observed, it was on social media, and the fire engine was there when they shot off another one, so we know.
Okay, so if we had contact with the folks, there would have been an immediate confiscation of the fireworks. And our typical is give them one verbal notice to cease any other activity. Their information is typically retained in our records, and then if they do have a second occurrence, they're usually fined, and which also involves a court date. So, anything else?
Great, thank you very much, appreciate it.
Thank you. Good to see you, Marion. Haven't seen you in forever.
I've been here, haven't seen you.
I know.
Can't hit a moving target.
Well, I got married March 27th. Thank you. And we spent a couple of weeks in the Caribbean. I was hoping to get shipwrecked somewhere. You know, it would have extended my stay a little bit, but didn't happen. So, thank you.
Thanks, Mike, appreciate it. Okay, CHP. Joan, are you presenting tonight? Joan Griffin?
Well, I was going to say, I tried to sit down back here. One of them tased me and the other one threatened to shoot me. So I was just standing here in the back.
Firemen drool over how cool cops are. Good evening. Well, tonight is the first day of Click It or Ticket, the next 2 weeks, nationwide. So we're going to be focusing on the seatbelt violations out there. As fair warning. The regular seatbelt use is the #1 thing you can do to help yourself out here on the highway. You can drive in a perfectly straight line, you can obey the speed limit, you can drive sober, but if someone hits you and you're not wearing your seatbelt, that's where you're going to get injured. And it's just the single easiest thing you can do to protect yourself. So please wear your seatbelt. If you're not wearing it, I'd like to let you know that in addition to injury and death and all those other bad things, the minimum cost of an adult seatbelt violation in California is $142 for the first ticket and up to $445 for not having a child under age 16 properly belted. That's a lot of money for something that takes you 2 seconds to do. So I'm just asking you folks, please wear your seatbelt. We don't like writing those tickets, but it is a click it or ticket law. And so we're going to, if you are observed not wearing your seatbelt, you are going to get a seatbelt ticket. We have the next 2 nights, or the next 2 mornings, Age Well, Drive Smart class for our age 55 and older drivers in 29 Palms. Tomorrow at 10 o'clock at the City Hall in the council chambers. And then on Wednesday at the Yucca Valley Town Hall in the Ocotillo room at 10 o'clock in the morning. The class is usually over by noon. You don't need to sign up. You can just show up. You don't even need to tell me your name when you get there. There's no drive test at the end. All you do is show up. We have a presentation. You can ask me a bunch of crazy questions if you want. Make fun of me a little bit, that's fine. And I'll show you some videos and then send you on your way. You can get a certificate if you like. If you stay after the class, I'll fill out a certificate for you. Some insurance companies will give you a reduction in rate. I don't know which ones. We'll do that for you, which ones will and which ones won't. But despite that, it's a lot of fun. I love these classes. I learned so much in these classes because most of the people in the classes have been driving longer than I've been around. So they have something to tell me. I'm not there to teach you how to drive. We're there to talk about how to keep us safe and how to keep you driving. So please come out. If you've been to the class before, that doesn't mean you can't come again. So tomorrow in 29 Falls, and then on Wednesday in Yucca Valley. We also, I want to remind everyone of our teen driving class that we have. The next day is May the 27th. That's Wednesday, May 27th at 6 p.m. at the Highway Patrol Station. You do need to sign up for the teen class because our space is limited. But to come to the senior class, just show up and bring a friend. We do it at 10 o'clock because you're out by noon. You can go to lunch afterwards.
How old do you have? How old is that senior class?
It's 55 and older. I've had a grandmother though bring her teenager. She brought her teenager, and her teenager learned something, right? So I'm not going to kick you out if you're 54. I don't ask for your driver's license or see how old you are or anything. I've had people anywhere from, like I said, a teenager to someone who was well into their 90s in the class. So it's a wide range of ages. And yes, ma'am.
How often are you going to have those classes for 55?
We have those classes every quarter. So it'll be another 3 months before we do them again. But, you know, tomorrow and Wednesday are great days. Hopefully you have it available. if you haven't already planned, so. Does anyone have any questions for me about the highway patrol period? Yes, ma'am.
Who do we talk to about getting the street light at Sunfair and the highway replaced? That thing is so dim, you can't even find your turn.
So the street light at Sunfair and 62 is not working?
It works, but it's so dim, you can't really find Sunfair. I can't imagine you guys haven't noticed that. You can drive that with your eyes closed, maybe.
So that's a Caltrans issue, but I'm going to make a note, and tomorrow morning I will email them and let them know, and that way they can take a look at it.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Last time you were here, you talked about don't talk on your cell phones. One of the things you didn't mention was, is it okay to talk when your cell phone is connected to your car?
So yes, so if you're 18 and older, you may use a hands-free device to talk on your cell phone while you're driving. That's what the law is. Now, that's what the law says, so you can do it, but once again, when you think about the conversations you're having, and if those are distracting to you, so, but the law says that you can use a hands-free device to talk on your cellular while you're driving, if you're 18 and older. So if you're 17 years old and 16 or 17 years old and you're driving, you cannot have that cell phone turned on at all.
Thank you.
I'm glad I could clear that up for you. Anything else? Well, thanks for listening. You guys have a safe night.
Thank you, John, appreciate it. Okay, do we still have a captain here from the, oh, there you are.
For now, you do. I would just like to emphasize, actually, Joan's point. Last week, I think it was Thursday afternoon, out at near the college, there was a very bad traffic accident. There were 3 people in one vehicle. 2 had their seatbelts on. They were transported locally, treated, and released. And the person that did not have their seatbelt on was ejected from the vehicle and had to be airlifted, and he's in not very good condition, from what I understand. So, one more sad example of getting your seatbelt on and wearing your seatbelt. I didn't bring any facts or figures with me tonight. In case anybody's been out of the country or slept through last week, I have been offered the job of Chief of Police at Desert Hot Springs, and after much thought and consultation with a number of friends and people in and out of the department, I have accepted that. So June 12th will be my last day with the department. And I intend to work up till that day. Well, actually, June 11th. I will still be working. June 12th, I have to go to headquarters and turn everything in. But I will be up there or out here still working, so I'll be at next month's meeting as well. There were a number of factors. People keep asking me, you know, why would I leave? There were a number of factors. One, it is another opportunity to, for those of you that are sports fans like LeBron James, you know, take my talents elsewhere. I do think that I'm a perfect fit for that city. I see a lot of potential. I think I can hopefully make some positive changes down there. And so that was one role, being able to have another challenge. I have 2 kids that I'm trying to get through college. So, you know, there's some financial incentive for me to help get them, like I know we all want better for our kids. And I would like to have them saddled with student loans as they're trying to start their career. So we want to pay to get them through college. But one of the best deciding factors for me was there was no residency requirement. So I can actually still live in the Morongo Basin, be involved in the community, yet still work down there and be involved there. So you will still see me around. You're not getting completely rid of me. I'm sure the Highway Patrol might see more of me than they care to as I'm driving down the hill, but that's their story. And then the other question that immediately follows that is, who is my replacement going to be? And we do not know the answer to that yet. I have spoken with the sheriff. I've given him my recommendations. I know he has a short list. of people that he is considering for the position. He is aware of he's aware of the uniqueness of the Morongo Basin, so I have complete faith in his selection will be somebody that's going to be great for the community. Obviously, not as good as me, but I mean, who is? So, but, and I also, I have not spoken with him about the timeline, but I'm going to guess that he will probably have Lieutenant Wilkie be the acting commander. I'm leaving, like I said, my last date is June 12th. I anticipate that he will leave that vacant for at least a month, only as a end-of-year cost savings, end of fiscal year cost savings. I'm going to guess he probably will fill it sometime in July at the start of the fiscal year. But that's just a guess on my part. I've not even spoken with him about that. So that's all I have for tonight, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question as to who we should call. We have a situation out in North Joshua Tree. I don't know the details, but there is somebody building on a piece of property that we all believe to be BLM. And it was just brought to my attention during the past week. Apparently, code enforcement knows about it and supposedly has cited this person who continually brings people out in his building, a building, and it's off of I guess it's Sunfair, as you're making the turn for it to turn into Coyote Valley. If you look down to the left, you can see this nifty structure. Nobody owns it, and it's supposedly BLM. Is that something that we talk to the sheriffs about, or do we raise heck with code enforcement?
Not the sheriffs.
Okay.
Code enforcement and BLM.
Okay.
Do you have my contact information?
I do.
Send me an email. If you've got the address, great, but if you can give me, like you just did, shoot me an email with the specific general directions. One of the BLM rangers we give office space to so that he doesn't have to drive to Barstow. So if you email that to me, I will give that to Torrin Stevens and have him look into it. So.
Do you know when he is occupying that space?
He is there.
Can you stop in and say hello, and by the way?
No, because I don't know when. He's only there a couple of days a week. A lot of times he's out in the field at various places, but he comes in a couple of times a week.
Great.
So, but yeah, if you'll send that to me, I'll get it to him.
Thank you.
Mark, did you have a question, or you want me to take from the audience first?
Go ahead and take from the audience.
Yes, ma'am.
Almond, why don't you come up here and get the microphone? Short on those tonight.
The local radio station had some information on a case that I would like you to comment on and fill in the public with what happened to it. It said that a 29 Palms pastor and president of the Ministerial Association was arrested Tuesday evening after his wife said he threatened to stab her and his children. According to a sheriff's report, a woman called police about 7:45 Tuesday evening to report Stephen Burns, 58, was threatening to stab her and her children. The woman said she was afraid of him and so left her home, and I'll cut it a little short. After investigation, Stephen Burns was arrested for suspicion of making terrorist threats, booked at the Morongo Basin jail with his bail set at $50,000. I have not seen anything in the papers as a follow-up, and I would appreciate if you could fill in so that the public understands what happened. Thank you.
I cannot. That case is currently under investigation, and the information that we gave in the press release is the only information that's available to the public at this time. He is no longer in custody. I don't know if he posted bail, if he was released on his own recognizance, but I know he's no longer in custody. But I can't comment on our investigation or what Hello? Oh, I can't comment on our investigation or any of the other allegations.
Okay, anyone else that I can turn to find out? I mean, it would be the Sheriff's Department,
Not in the
right?
Sheriff's Department, you
Yeah,
cannot.
okay.
We've given all the information that we're going to about the case. So
Okay.
you can actually go to the county court system, their website, San Bernardino County Courts. I don't know what the official site is, but if you Google that or do a search, you can look for case information just by typing his name in, and it can tell you what happened at court.
Thank you.
Before you go away, can I have your email? I thought I had it, but I don't.
Yeah, I'll give you a card.
Thank you.
Unless somebody else wants my email to send me hate mail. Okay.
Dale, I'd like to say you're going to be missed. You know, we go back, I don't know, 25, 30 years when you were the DARE officer at the school district. And coming from that all the way to the captain, I think you've done a great job in the area, and you'll be missed. On behalf of the MAC, we wish you the best of luck.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate it. And I have had great.
You don't have a great mic there, but
I don't have a great mic, but let me give you that.
This is a great mic.
I have a question.
Great support from the community, the MAC. Mark, you're right, not quite 30 years, but 24 years ago, you know, I got hired with the Sheriff's Department, and once we came out here, I knew nothing about California. Actually had came out here from Kansas, was living in Victorville, and some of the people that I had went to the academy with kept telling me, you got to come out here. Other people in the county were saying, why would you want to go out there? Just like I'm getting now. You know, some people are asking me, why would I want to go to Desert Hot Springs? And my wife and I came out one weekend, looked around, fell in love with the place, and said, you know, we're moving out here. We're going to live here for 2 years, and then we'll move to civilization. Redlands or Yucaipa, you know, a nice city. That was 24 years ago. Once we came out here, we never left, and I don't intend to leave. So I've had great support from the community, and just hopefully my little way of returning that favor by staying here and participating as well. But thank you.
Yeah, I just have one question. I read the sheriff's reports in the paper, and now and then I see terrorist threat. And I'm wondering how and when terrorists got appended to threat, because, you know, terrorism is something completely different, and it seems confusing to put that on threat, because threat is enough. And how did that happen?
That would be something you'd actually have to ask the legislature. They have titled it that, and actually that could very well be errors on our part. For years, that was what the verbiage in the code was, a terroristic threat. Actually, after 9/11, they had a number of minorities getting beaten by other inmates in the prison and jail system when they saw that they were there for terrorist threats. And that's nothing more than, you know, making threats to do bodily harm with the apparent ability to do so immediately. So they might have, in some cases, after 9/11, Middle Eastern inmates who were there, that somebody would get hold of their booking charges, show that they were there for terrorist threats, and they were assumed to be international terrorists. So they have changed that verbiage, and I'll follow up on that and make sure our folks are writing it properly. It's now called criminal threats.
Okay.
So, but that's why.
Thank you.
will you be at our next meeting, June 8th?
I will. Yes.
Okay, thank you. We'll see you there.
I believe, oh no. I was going to say, I think that may be my last, I think that may be my last official meeting that I was going to attend, but I have one on the 9th. So
Okay.
you'll be my second to last meeting that I'm going to attend.
Okay, so you will be here June 8th? Okay, good. And we'll see you then. Thank you. Okay, any other questions? If not, we'll go to action item H. And I'll go ahead and read this and take a first and a second, and then we'll turn it over to Pat Flanagan for the reading of the resolution and any discussion. It is recommended that the Morongo Basin Municipal Advisory Council adopt Resolution MAC 013, a resolution of the Board of Morongo Basin Municipal Advisory Council opposing Alternative 3 of the Bureau of Land Management's West Mojave Route Network project as detrimental for individuals and communities, the rural county road system, and the environment within the jurisdiction of San Bernardino County. Did I get it first?
I move we accept the resolution.
Okay.
013.
Okay. Your second? Okay, at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Pat Flanagan. She will read the resolution and then any discussion. We can have a discussion after that. Thank you.
Okay, and I've had this allergy, and if I'm reading gets me to coughing, I'll pass it on to Mark. Okay, this is a resolution, oh, so you just read that, of the Board of the Morongo Basin Municipal Advisory Council opposing Alternative 3 of the Bureau of Land Management's West Mojave Route Network project as detrimental for individuals and communities, the rural county road system, and the environment within the jurisdiction of San Bernardino County. Whereas the Morongo Basin Municipal Advisory Council is an advisory body of local citizens appointed by the San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors with the purpose of representing the community of the board. And whereas the Bureau of Land Management has released the West Mojave, or WEMO, Travel Management Plan and provided opportunity for comment until June 4, 2015. And whereas Alternative 3, the preferred alternative, with 10,428 miles, utilizes the county road system as the backbone for motorized access to OHV routes on public land, that's in quotes, reference WEMO page 121. And whereas the Morongo Basin MAC represents communities within Travel Management Area 3, reaching from Lucerne Valley to Wonder Valley and from the southern Johnson Valley to Morongo Valley, and whereas this OHV access network completely surrounds and penetrates the rural communities of Lucerne Valley, Johnson Valley, Flamingo Heights, Landers, Yucca Mesa, Copper Mountain, Desert Heights, and Wonder Valley. And whereas, if approved, this travel network through San Bernardino County would put the burden of OHV travel on rural communities in Travel Management Area 3. Whereas there is no attention given to these communities or the adverse physical effects to the residents from the dust, noise, and vehicular emissions experienced when living within the proposed transportation network. And whereas there is no attention given to the economic effects residents would experience from the lowered property values or difficulty with home sales, an approved transportation network is an externality that must be revealed by realtors to prospective buyers. And whereas there is no attention given to the decreased revenue to the county from lower property taxes, and whereas there is no attention given to the 7 community service areas, CSAs, for roads, community members have voted to be taxed for road maintenance. OHVs are hard on roads, and payment for increased maintenance will fall on the taxpayer, not the OHV operator. And whereas in utilizing the county road system, the BLM is acting outside their jurisdiction. The BLM is required to consult with the county and to give the Board of Supervisors the opportunity to exercise their leadership to resolve this interjurisdictional conflict. The BLM has not consulted with the County of San Bernardino. And whereas the use of the county's rural residential roads violates the San Bernardino County OHV Ordinance 20.040, which seeks to protect residential neighborhoods from the effects of OHV use, such as noise, dust, smoke, and fumes. You would refer to both Ordinance 3973 from 2006 and Ordinance 28.040 of 2010. And whereas in utilizing the county road system, the BLM assumes that the county sheriff will respond to calls and the need for emergency services, the BLM is not consulted with the county sheriff. And whereas there is no acknowledgement to the San Bernardino County vision, our vision for the future of San Bernardino County includes a sense of place and community identity in distinct communities where residents may choose to remain in unincorporated neighborhoods. See the general plan, goal, land use 10. Whereas in utilizing the county road system, the BLM is obliged to comply with the Environmental Quality Act, the supplemental national environmental impact statement is not sufficient. An environmental impact report for these actions is required. And whereas the BLM claims the following inconsistencies for all alternatives, including the 10,428 miles of alternative 3 routes. Okay, I've got to read this slowly. This is what the BLM says. A, there would be, over the long term, show a moderate reduction in areas that would not be susceptible to fugitive dust emissions, would not lead to changes in the motorized vehicle use or miles traveled in the planning area, and therefore would not result in any increase or decrease in direct or indirect greenhouse gas emissions for motorized vehicles, and C, will not result in an increased number of riders. And therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Morongo Basin Municipal Advisory Council rejects Alternative 3 as detrimental for individuals and communities, the rural county road system, and the environment within the jurisdiction of San Bernardino County, but could support, based on continued study, Alternative 2 for resource conservation enhancement. I got through.
Thanks, Pat. Okay, comments from the audience? Could you take the podium and give us your name, please?
Okay, well, it's working right now. I'm Jet Tucker. I just noticed the 5th whereas. Why is Joshua Tree left off of that? I understand that Coyote Hole and all those areas, I can hear those vehicles up on Sunset. They run up and down that. So can we add Joshua Tree to the proposal and maybe Copper Mountain Mesa instead of just Copper Mountain?
Copper Mountain is the name of the CSA.
Okay.
And so yes, Joshua Tree.
Joshua Tree, I think, should be added. That's it. Thank you.
Those of us who live there call it the Mesa, but they don't. What do they know?
Any other comments? Almut?
Thank you, and thank you for doing it, and doing it so well. I would like for all of us to consider to take an ad out in the paper and have it printed everywhere. I mean, the whole thing. The whole resolution.
What's that?
To publicize this resolution, instead of just going to San Bernardino County, Board of Supervisors.
That's about $800.
Okay, maybe we can go for 400 and shorten it a bit, I don't know.
Well, the press is here tonight. I'm sure they'll do a small piece on it.
Can we post it somewhere so they can?
We can post it on the MAC Facebook if you'd like. We can do that. Okay, we will do that. Yeah, there's a MAC Facebook, Morongo Advisory Council Facebook, and we can post it on that. Yes, there is.
What is it under?
Morongo Basin Municipal Advisory Council.
I'm not a Facebook chick, you know what I mean?
Okay, any other comments?
Yeah, I have one.
Yeah.
If I can, when we put that together, I needed to do some more research on CEQA, and since then I've spoken to a lawyer, and I would like to revise the part that is on there to read, BLM utilizes the county road system but does not analyze the affected air quality, noise, socioeconomic, and affected environment related to the rural desert communities encompassed by the plan. If this plan is approved, does the county become the lead agency and is CEQA analysis required? So in other words, I might write that a little differently, but the BLM did not give enough attention or any attention to these issues in their CEQA and their NEPA analysis and they should have. But BLM doesn't do CEQA. That would be the county doing CEQA. So I just need to revise that if that's okay with folks.
Any questions? Yes, we can revise that as long as the minutes reflect that we've made that change before the final vote. Okay? So I'd like to call it for vote now. We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, unanimous. Thank you, Pat, for a great job on this. Okay, we're down to community reports. Teresa, you can start.
Okay, try this. Okay. The Wonder Valley Well Owners Association met on Sunday, May 3rd with 28 people in attendance. Clarence Chambers, the president, spoke on the state of wells in our area, water levels remaining unchanged. He advised people to secure a small generator, pump, and tank so they could have access to their water in the event of an electrical outage. The neighbors then moved to the topic of community safety. I was able to speak on efforts to arrange a meeting with the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, who have agreed to come address various issues, including dumping, crime, citizens on patrol, and setting up a neighborhood watch. Kip's High Desert Book Club met Monday, May 4th at my house, and many of our Wonder Valley neighbors attended. And we had a meet and greet this morning at the community center with 7 people attending, and many issues were discussed. So the neighbors of Wonder Valley will meet on Saturday, May 23rd at 11 a.m. at our community center, and there's flyers up there, for a WEMA presentation with Pat Flanagan. Everyone is invited and welcome to attend, just because it's Wonder Valley. If you haven't seen her presentation, it's a great thing to see. And I'm distressed to find a new ORV route adjacent to my own property at the end of my driveway. So I urge everyone to send their letters before June 4th. And so community issues of concern are crime, dumping, access to social services, road safety, and access to representatives. Those are the things we're discussing. My own goal is to raise the profile of Wonder Valley. I'm blessed to have met many of my neighbors and find them to be some of the finest people I've met anywhere. We have world-class musicians, artists, academics, engineers, and fine retired folks living in our area. They embody the pioneer spirit of independence and interdependence, resilience and creativity that formed this area into a community so many decades ago, and I count myself very fortunate to live in Wonder Valley. And looking out in the audience, I'm so happy to see that the attendance from Wonder Valley has doubled. Thank you, Almut and Donna, for coming, and thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Teresa. Lib, do you have anything?
Yes, I do. The Dollar General is still trying to figure out how to make a left-hand turn lanes, and I'm hoping that they're using Caltrans, but you never know. They also now have a bus stop there with a bench that's been taken away from Heroes. So when I go to the MBTA, I'm going to check to see if they're going to still stop at Heroes, because that is a good stop there, and maybe get some shade there also. My second thing is the Morongo Basin Regional Council on Aging is meeting on the 28th of May at the Yucca Valley Senior Nutrition Center, and at 1 o'clock, and it's going to be about seniors taking care of relatives that are older than they are, and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. There's a lot of programs that the county offers, and they aren't out here. And so I'm hoping that we get a lot of people. We've got flyers that are going out, so hopefully we'll have lots and lots of people. Thank you.
Thanks, Lib. We got a few things going on in Joshua Tree. Music Festival, May 14th through 17th and October 8th through 11th. But Thomas, you got any tickets left for that?
Yeah, we have tickets, $160 discount tickets.
That's a discount? What's the regular price?
180, but now I think it's like, it's 210.
Okay. It's still, I noticed on the flyer, no place on the flyer does it tell you exactly where it is.
Where the music festival
Yeah.
is.
I scoured it.
That's their flyer.
Is it a secret?
Well, no, you go to their website.
Their website, and get it, okay. Once you buy your tickets. Okay, great.
But it's at the lake campground.
Okay, and you can get, yeah, Josh Tree Lake, yeah. You can get info that at info@joshuatreechamber.org. Is that the right address?
Yeah, or go to our website, joshuatreechamber.org,
Okay.
and there's a purchase now link.
Okay, and I understand you have chamber space now for meetings. can we move our MAC there?
Absolutely.
The meetings? Will we fit?
We can fit this in there.
This size,
We won't have a fancy,
Tell us a little bit about the meeting. Who's it for? Who's it offered to?
well, it's a small conference room, and there's a meeting table that has about room for 10 people for group meetings, small groups, and then also a larger room that we can also get chairs for, probably up to maybe 30 people or so, can fit in a large presentation room.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay.
Great rates.
And we're having a mixer open house for whoever wants to come on the 29th from 5 to 8.
29th from 5 to 8, a mixer that's open to the public?
Jazz bands can play.
Oh,
The chamber office.
okay, great. And you're still doing the Joshua Tree second Saturday downtown nights, every second Saturday from 5 to 9. So do the crawl through the area?
Yeah, we
Great.
have a new gallery opening called Taylor Junction,
Great.
north side where the old land trust office was.
Oh, outstanding. Okay, and I guess there is an event called Contact in the Desert, May 29th through June 1st at the Joshua Tree Retreat Center. And I guess that's an interesting, kind of spooky thing that,
It's all the ancient aliens guys and, UFO contact people, so it goes right in line with the Integratron and George Van Tassel.
perfect. Okay, great.
History of UFOs.
Great. That just sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Rebecca, did you have something?
I'll be working there that weekend, helping Victoria Jennings with everybody. They had 2,000 people last year, attendees,
Wow.
and it just keeps growing.
The big names in ufology.
Yeah, I noticed there was a radio station I used to listen to, and I can't remember the name of it.
Coast to coast.
Coast to Coast with Art Bell. Is Art Bell still around?
George Murray comes every
Oh, okay, Art Bell, yeah,
Yeah.
he's a character.
Eric Von
Okay,
Daniken was there last year.
yeah, enough of that, okay. I'll move it on. Mary Helen?
Okay, Copper Mountain Mesa. As you heard, we have reports of a squatter. I've been seeing it go up. I just assumed that the person owned it, 'cause whoever is building this little cabin, they've already even stuccoed it. And as you go past Joshua Lakes, and just as you're going to make the turn to head up, you look down to the left and you see a building that has slowly grew. And one of my neighbors said that she researched it and no, it's BLM land. So, and I guess supposedly code enforcement has been out there. I don't know. So I'll just forward it on the proper way. I'll get the parcel number. And at the Copper Mountain Mesa Community Center this Saturday, we are restarting the movie nights. And it starts at 7 o'clock will be the movie. Teresa knows that her husband and Kip.
It came from outer space.
It came from outer space. Oh, perfect! Perfect. What we do is we have a huge property that the community center is on. And if you bring a chair and a cooler, you can, for a couple of bucks, give us a donation. We sell hot dogs. I bake something. We sell it, popcorn and such. And we show the movie on the back of the storage container. And they get some of the really old-fashioned cartoons like Felix the Cat. I just always liked that guy, so I'm glad for it. So it's a fundraiser for the community center. And if you're not doing anything Saturday night, come on and see a movie under the stars. It's really kind of fun. Thanks.
So Desert Heights doesn't have any community gathering places, but I think that may be what we have to do. So I would say that I've been working on behalf of my community with this WeMo thing. And I also want to say that there is an individual out in Wonder Valley who has property that he owns that BLM says is theirs. So this homesteading can make real confusion. So it's possible that.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Who knows? So I would just encourage everybody who has strong feelings about this WeMo plan to please make your feelings known and be a good descriptor of your community. It was astonishing to me that you look at the maps of this area and what they've done to it with routes,
and there's not a single description of any of the communities anywhere. They're not acknowledged. And maybe one of the biggest important things to do is to describe what they're doing where you live. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else from the audience? Any chit chat or anything you want to talk about? We got some time. No? Okay, let's go ahead and adjourn the meeting, the next meeting is Monday, June 8th, same location, and I think we'll have a couple of presentations at that time. We're working on it, so we're adjourned. Thank you.